William Shakespeare once wrote, "To be or not to be, that is the question." But nowadays, we are more to ask, to upgrade or not to upgrade, that is the question. Since 1985, when the first version of Windows was released, Microsoft has released 9 different main versions of the operation system and is about to release its 10th version, Windows 8, this fall. Apple has started a revolution in personal electronics with its release of the iPod in 2001 and has released a new version nearly every year since, including the introduction of the iPhone. And smartphones have dominated the marketplace, advancing so rapidly that phones are going obsolete in just a matter of a few months' time. This perfect example of Moore's Law has led consumers to ask why I must upgrade now. Today, I would like to talk to you about a growing problem in the age of ever-evolving technology, and that is whether or not to upgrade our personal technologies in our daily lives. This question has led to a distrust in electronics companies that leaves one without the ability to properly function in today's information world. To understand the need to upgrade our information technologies periodically, we will first have to understand the problems older equipment can create. Second, what causes these problems. And finally, how these issues can be fixed at the local, global, and personal scale. To start off with, outdated electronics can create multiples of issues in our daily lives, and many of those can have disastrous effects. The most common problem people have is the inability to communicate with each other. When was the last time you received a phone call from a supervisor explaining what was needed from you at the next meeting? Or a letter in the mail from a friend saying hello? These events have become quite rare with the easy access to emails and instant messaging. Out-of-date equipment could cause you to receive these much-needed messages slowly and cause you to fall behind, even miss some important appointments. Slow processing equipment could cause you to take you longer to complete assignments that will push you past deadlines, like trying to turn in a last-minute paper and finding out the computer can only upload it in a time span way past the due time. The most dangerous or disastrous problems with outdated technology is equipment failure. The worst thing a person can experience on a computer is a thing crashing right when finishing a project, but before you can save it. If the equipment is out of date, it might not be able to handle some situations and cause a system shutdown or freeze up. And this could be a big issue with the system when the system is operating something major like a plane or a server for a financial institution. Next, we need to understand what it is that causes these problems to occur in our older devices. According to Moore's Law, computers are doubling in their capacity every 18 months or more. And this goes for programs too. As we look at programs to do more and more things for us, the requirements needed to run them become greater. Older equipment does not have to have the capability to run these programs. And this can affect its use of the internet as the websites, it could affect our use of the internet as the websites too are becoming more complicated. Another issue that can cause a problem is in equipment is not being able to handle the load required for today's computing. A great example of this is floppy disk. Because when they first came out, they were able to store whole programs on one disk. Now, you can't even store a small Word document. We can also run into the issues of using obsolete equipment and trying to find replacement parts for them. A service call on a computer that has parts that are no longer mass produced can cost up to $1,000 or might not even be repairable. Also, even older equipment could cause a problem because it might not be compatible with other equipment around it, making it and you useless. So how do we fix this growing problem with obsolete technology? Well, it can be handled at all levels, globally, locally, and personally. Globally, we need to standardize equipment and programs. We need to have one absolute code for all operation systems to use, whether it is Mac, Windows, or Linux. So every nation and company can work flawlessly with one another. Locally, we need to inform people about the need to upgrade. There needs to be programs and campaigns to promote the understanding of technology and classes available to anyone for free technical support and knowledge. Personally, we need to stay informed on newer technology and upgrade when we need to, and take it upon ourselves to inform others when it is time for them to upgrade their own equipment. How many of you here today know about the upcoming Windows 8 release and the potential the new Windows Surface tablet can have to change the place of tablets in our lives? Being informed of these things will in turn make you a better electronic consumer and keep you from falling into the obsolete trap. In conclusion, upgrading can prevent us from loss of communications, help reach deadlines, and deter equipment failure by simply taking the steps to inform ourselves of the needs and problems associated with outdated technology. So in a world constantly trying to better itself, can you ask yourself with confidence to upgrade or not to upgrade? Any questions?
Cost of upgrade is a continual cost. How can that be minimized? Because it just seems like you're always astronomically putting money in until you can't eat.
Well, a lot of programs now, like with cell phones and iPads, they're doing recycle things where you actually could turn in your phones, your older phones, and get a credit to actually upgrade. But it's not just upgrading your equipment alone, the whole thing, your computer as a whole, but also you could upgrade parts of your computers that could, over slowly time, keep your computer up to date with now. But the main thing is to just be informed of whenever you're actually buying something. So you know that you're not buying at a low end, you know that you're buying something that is capable of working for at least a couple more years down the road and able to even upgrade. Like a laptop, let's just give for example. It's great now, but whenever it comes to the point of having to upgrade it, you either have to replace the whole thing or just work with it as it is. Or a desktop, you can replace a processor, a motherboard, some RAM in there, anything that could make it actually better, even upgrade the operation system. Cost. It's a matter of, it's always going to cost. It's just a matter of being informed and knowing what you can do now and in the future.
What if you have one of those built-in monitors on your laptop? Can you still do that? I mean, on your desktop?
A built-in monitor, an all-in-one,
Yeah.
like with the touch screen,
Yeah.
most of the times it's just the same as a laptop. To be perfectly honest. Now that is one thing, and that's why they need to have standardized equipment. If they had standardized equipment, then all of your motherboards and processors for your laptops would be interchangeable. Then you can upgrade the motherboard on your laptop and continue to use it instead of having to go and buy a whole new thing. Right now, since it's not standardized, every single laptop has its own design for its motherboard, and that's why you can't ever upgrade it. And the same thing with all-in-ones. But if it's standardized, you won't have that problem.
Okay.
You upgrade memory by external memory?
It depends on what type of memory. You could upgrade storage memory, but you cannot upgrade your flash or your RAM memory, which is essential for your computer to run. Any more questions?